In this lab, we will use Azure Synapse Links for Azure Cosmos DB. So first I will go to the portal.azure.com and I will sign in with my login credentials. On the top right corner under the Cloud Shell, I will select the PowerShell option. It is by default selected. If it is Bash, you can change it to PowerShell. There are two ways to install the Azure resources. One is by manual and another is by PowerShell commands. So in this video, I will be install resources using the PowerShell command. Let's clone the repo and paste it on the PowerShell. Let's copy the setup code. And once the repo is completed, paste the setup code. I will pause the video till the setup is completed. As you can see, my setup has been completed and resource group has been created with all the required resources. So when you scroll down, you will see the resource group name DP203UVOQZXA. I will go to my resource group and close the PowerShell. So this is a newly created resource group. Inside that you can see that there are 4 different resources have been already created. Now first step will be configure Synapse Link in Azure Cosmos DB. For that we need to go to Azure portal and inside the resource group we will select Azure Cosmos DB and select the Data Explorer page on the left hand side. Here we will go to the Data Explorer. At the top of the Data Explorer page, use the Enable Azure Synapse link. We'll select Enable Azure Synapse link. On the left hand side of the page in the integration section, select Azure Synapse link. Just below here, integration section, Azure Synapse links, and make sure it is enabled here. It will take some time to account to get updated. I will pause the video till it's finished. As you can see, my Azure Synapse link has been enabled. Now our next step is to create an analytical store container. So let's return to the Data Explorer page and create a new container. Select new container from here, or maybe you can select from the top as well. Container ID. Set throughput, let's unselect it. Container ID as a sales. Partition ID, customer ID. Container throughput auto scale, maximum RU per second 4000. That is default. Analytical store, open and select OK. After the container has been created, under the Data Explorer page, let's expand the Adventure Work database which is created. I will pause the video till container is created. As you can see, my container has been created. AdventureWorks data. Now let's expand the database and its sales folder and select the item folder. Use the new item button to create a new customer item based on the following JSON code. So we will select new item and we'll replace this code with our current one and save it. You can see our data has been saved. Now let's add another one item. Replace the code and save it. Now you can see two datas are there. Let's add the third one and save it. Now next step is to configure Synapse Link in Azure Synapse Analytics. Now in the Azure portal, we need to close the blade for your Cosmos DB account if it is still open. Cosmos DB, let's close it and return to resource group. Open the Synapse workplace. Let me go to my resource group and select Synapse workplace. Inside the overview page, on the data page, view the link tab and your workplace should be already included. Let's see that. First we will open the Synapse Studio. It will ask my login credentials. Under the data page, linked Azure Data Lake Storage, chain 2. Inside the files, now let's select connect our external data plus and connect external data. Here we will select Azure Cosmos DB, no SQL, and continue. Let's provide the detail. Name will be AdventureWorks. Description not necessary, but it is always good to provide. This is the default authentication type account key and connection string selected. Azure subscription is already selected by default and Cosmos DB account, we may need to select it if it is not. And database name, AdventureWorks. After the creating connection, you use the refresh button on the top right and under the linked pane. Let's create the link service. Now let's refresh the Synapse Studio. We can see our Cosmos DB database AdventureWorks is visible now inside the sales folder. Now our next step is to query Azure Cosmos DB from Azure Synapse Analytics. So in the data pane, select sales container and select new notebook, load to data frame. In the notebook one open, in the attach to list, select the Spark pool. So here we will select our existing Spark pool and select run all. It will take some time to initiate the Spark pool, so I'm pausing the video. As you can see, our Spark pool has successfully run the code and the result is visible with the 3 output. This is the same 3 output we entered earlier while creating the lab. Now let's run another code. So you can click the plus button here, paste the new code and run it. The second time code will run quickly. See, the output is similar to this one. Let's add the another code. And run the code. Spark enabled to run a complex data manipulation code to restructure and explore the data from Cosmos DB. In this case, the PySpark language enabled you to navigate the JSON property hierarchy to retrieve the child field of the customer fields. Now let's add another code in the cell. Copy it, paste it, and run. This will create the new database containing the table that include data from the Cosmos DB analytical store. As you can see, our code is successfully completed the output. Let's add another code. And press the run button. So the result will be SQL query result will be like this. Observe that when using the Spark SQL, you can retrieve the name property of the JSON structure as a column. Okay, let's keep the notebook open and we will return it back. The next step is the query Azure Cosmos DB from a serverless SQL. In the data pane, select sales container and the new script top 100. New SQL script top 100. So notebook 1 is open here and this is our new SQL script. Let's change the property pane and change the code. It should be like this. Now the SQL will require the credential to use when accessing the Cosmos DB, which is based on the authentication key for your Cosmos DB account. So script included initial if not exist statement that checks for this credential and throw an error if doesn't exist. Now let's replace if not exist statement in the script with the following code to create the credential by replacing the Cosmos DB account name with your account name. So let's copy this one and change the if not exist code. Let's enter the Cosmos DB account name here. So my Cosmos DB account name inside the resource group, I will copy this one and paste it here. So whole script should be like this. Sorry, I just changed the account name here and set access signature, enter your Azure Cosmos account key. So I need to enter the key here, not the account name. So I will cut it and here I will paste my account code, my secret key. Now for the secret key, I will go to my Cosmos DB account, inside the setting and keys. On the left hand side, I'm already in my Cosmos DB portal. This is the primary key. I will copy it and paste the primary key here. So my code is completed. Let's run the code. So here you need to change the name of the credential, create credential, to any name of your choice, because the existing name is already exist, so it will not allow and throw an error. After that you need to select the secret key. For that you need to go to Cosmos DB account and go to primary key, unsee it and copy paste it here. Make sure you change the server credential name here, whatever the name you have given, and press the run button, which will execute the query with 3 results. Run button and review the result. We should consider the 3 record, one of the record item you added in the Cosmos DB database. Now we have already created the credential. You can use it in any query in the Cosmos DB resources. So let's replace the code in the script with both create credential and select statement with the following code. So we will copy this one, and so my CBDs already exist. So what I can do, my cos DB and my cos DB, and let's run it again. So create credential code will only run one time. If you try to run it again, it will throw an error. So these are the 3 records as the output. Now let's change the create credential and select statement with the following code. Let's change the Cosmos DB account name. So here you need to change the account name to your Cosmos DB account name, and server credential, whichever the credential you newly created. When you press the run button, it will show you output. Keep the SQL script 1 open. Okay. Now let's verify data modification in Cosmos DB are reflected in the Synapse. Leave the browser tab of the Synapse open. Let's go to Azure portal, and inside the Cosmos DB keys, Data Explorer, and Adventure Work Database Sales folder, then select the item folder. Use a new item and let's copy it. New item, Control A, Control V, and save it. So 4th item is copied now. Now return to Synapse Studio tab in the SQL script 1 and let's rerun. Now we can see the fourth result. Just a moment. Yep, it shows the same result as before, but wait for a minute, and so then rerun the query again until the result includes the same additional name. So let's pause the video and wait for a couple of minutes. After the rerunning the script, you can see the 4th result has been added here. Let's try one more. Control A, Control C, new item, Control A, Control V, and instead of Samir, let's say add any name, maybe Nishit, and save. Let's copy another name, maybe copy and discard new item, Control A, Control V. Let's ID maybe change order ID, customer ID, name, let's make Amir. Product, category, quantity and price. Let's say one more number. Okay, we delete one number and save it. Okay, my fifth record has been included here. Now I will go back to my Synapse Studio, and after a couple of minutes I will see if the fifth record is visible here. I will pause the video till now. Let's rerun the script. You can see fifth result has been added with Amir and customer ID 122. Once you verify the result, publish the changes and publish. With this, our lab is completed. We will delete the resources now. So go to the resource group, copy the resource group name, delete resource group, type name and delete. It will take some while, at least couple of minutes, to delete all the resources. It depends on the number of resources. You can see in the notification, resources getting deleted.